Hello, I'm Ron Wilson. In this month's news, Treasurer Scott Morrison has pushed for mandated comprehensive credit reporting after credit providers substantially failed to engage with a less onerous voluntary scheme. The Financial Advisors Standards and Ethics Authority adopted its first standard, requiring new advisors to have at least a bachelor's degree covering relevant fields. The federal government has appointed former Goldman Sachs banker James Shipton as ASIC chair for a 5-year term from the 1st of February 2018. And in international news, the US Federal Reserve kept interest rates on hold but continued with quantitative tightening. Dan Purves has the details.
Credit providers' substantial failure to meet a voluntary credit data reporting threshold has led Treasurer Scott Morrison to push for a mandatory comprehensive credit reporting regime, or CCR, to come into effect by the 1st of July 2018. CCR makes positive credit data available to the public, such as a customer's credit limit and loan repayment history. Up until now, little information has been made public other than whether a customer was rejected for a loan. Morrison said in a statement that the 4 major banks will be the first to face the mandated reporting, given they account for approximately 80% of lending to households. The Big 4 banks will need 50% of their credit data ready for mandatory reporting by the 1st of July 2018, increasing to 100% a year later. The Financial Advisors Standards and Ethics Authority, or FASEA, has determined that new entrants to the financial advice industry will require an AQF7 bachelor level degree to work as a financial advisor. Those who change careers from another industry to financial advice are required to complete study at the postgraduate level. Both the bachelor and postgraduate level will comprise 24 courses, 12 of which will be core. The courses will cover ethics, professional attitudes and behaviours, financial planning and advice process, as well as technical requirements. The standard will come into force from the 1st of January 2019. FASEA has yet to determine the education requirements for existing financial advisors. The federal government has appointed former Goldman Sachs banker James Shipton as ASIC chair for a 5-year term from the 1st of February 2018. Shipton declared that under his leadership, ASIC will continue to stamp out bad culture in financial services. The Financial Review reports that he's been given direct input into the appointment of 2 commissioners to allow him to shake up the regulator and build his own legacy. Shipton is currently Executive Director at Harvard Law School's Program on International Financial Systems. He previously worked at the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission and Goldman Sachs. Outgoing ASIC chair Greg Medcraft retired on the 12th of November 2017. Deputy Chair Peter Kell will be the acting chair in the interim between Medcraft's departure and Shipton's commencement. The ATO's new reporting regime for superannuation funds has been scaled back for some SMSFs after consultation with the sector. The event-based reporting regime is now limited to SMSFs that have at least one member whose total balance is $1 million or more across all their superannuation accounts. SMSFs need to report within 28 days after the end of the quarter if an event occurs that impacts a member's transfer balance cap. For example, when a member commences a retirement income stream. In the first of its kind ruling, the federal court fined an AFS licensee $1 million for failure to act in clients' best interests. This is the first civil penalty to be imposed on a licensee for breaching the best interests duty introduced under FOFA reforms. The court found that representatives breached Section 961B of the Corporations Act by failing to take reasonable steps to ensure that they provided advice that complied with the best interests obligations, and Section 961G by failing to take reasonable steps to ensure that they provided advice that was appropriate for its clients. Justice Moshinsky found the breaches were systematic in nature and regarded the contraventions as very serious ones. ASIC acting chair Peter Kell said this outcome makes clear to the industry the serious consequences of AFS licensees failing to comply with their FOFA obligations, adding that ASIC will continue to pursue licensees who fail to do so. ASIC has appointed the first members of the Financial Services and Credit Panel, or FSCP. The FSCP will make administrative decisions on certain matters relating to financial services and credit activities. ASIC will form individual sitting panels from the 18-person member pool. Each panel will comprise of 2 FSCP members and an ASIC staff member. The panel will hold administrative hearings to decide whether to make banning orders against individuals for misconduct. The US Federal Reserve held off on a change to interest rates in November, but expects that improving economic conditions will lead to a gradual increase to the rate in the coming months. The central bank has raised the benchmark interest rate twice this year to the current target range of 1 to 1.25% as it begins to tighten monetary policy. The balance sheet normalization program, or quantitative tightening, that commenced in October 2017, is set to continue to bring the Fed's balance sheet down to more normal levels, after years of quantitative easing led to total assets exceeding US $4.5 trillion.